Hello Cancers and welcome to my channel. I am Ivy Rose with Creatively Ivy Rose Oracle Readings. Now this is a general reading for all of my Cancers out there, so it may resonate with you, but it may not. But if it does, please like and subscribe as that'll help me to pick up on all of your energy for future readings. Now all of the Oracle decks that I will be using are shown here on my table, but I will also provide links in the description below where you can find and purchase each one. And I do also offer personal readings, so my Etsy page will be listed below. All right, just a couple of announcements. So if you all hear any weird sounds or noises coming from the background, I have a new kitty who has really bad allergies. So if anybody has any suggestions for natural remedies or medications or anything that could help little kitties with allergies, please link them in the description below, or comment, or anything that will help. Second, as you can see, I have tilted my camera up just a little bit because I have gotten some feedback about when I shuffle the cards and the fact that people couldn't really see when the cards were flying out. And that's disappointing because it's so cool when they do and when you can actually see that. And, I want to make sure that you all know that I'm not just doing it myself. So if you all have any, comments or suggestions or positive comments to help me grow the channel, as it is still very much a budding channel, please comment below, give me any suggestions, anything that you might have on your mind. I am always willing to receive them and to, grow with them. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So the first deck that I'm going to be using is the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck. Beautiful deck. Look at this stunning artwork. It is gorgeous. And I love this because on the back has the descriptions instead of having to use a little booklet, so it makes the process a lot easier. All right, Spirit, let's go ahead and get some cards from this deck for our mid-month reading for Cancers. Anything for Cancer for mid-month of October. That one looks like it wants to come out, so let's, all right, let's go ahead and get those. And this one as well. All right, let's see what we have. Full spectrum. Step out of the black and white mentality of good and bad. Honor the full spectrum of life and see through fresh eyes. When we judge something, we create a story around it, and often these stories are limiting. Over a lifetime, we subconsciously gather so many of these stories, create a space of no story for miraculous healing and crystallizing new paths. This space empowers us to know our truth and be all we are. Embrace creation in all her colors, including the raw, muddy, earthbound shadow parts of a situation, to determine whether your stories are limiting your perspective. Let the compost of the challenges you have overcome feed new shots and blossoms. So go ahead and pause if you like to read the card yourself. All right, and what I'm getting from this is universe is reminding you that things are not what they seem in the spectrum that we see them in. That is what society has programmed us to see. There is still a lot of gray space within everything, and remember, even though things might seem black and white, everything is united in some way, shape, or form. All right, so don't create stories around things that are going to be limiting. Don't use that black and white, that this or that perspective. Instead, try to use an encompassing vision to see all colors of the spectrum. And if you do already have a limiting belief on something, this black and white kind of belief, try to face that part of yourself and get yourself out of these limiting beliefs. That's part of what being a human being is facing those shadow parts of yourself and facing those limiting beliefs and breaking those down so that we can build back up with better belief systems. Okay? So embrace all of what creation is. Embrace what that is within as well as without. And again, embrace and face those shadow parts of yourself and those shadow parts of your ways of thinking, because that is where the growth and the change is going to happen. And when you start expanding on these thoughts, it will start to reflect not just inside, but on the outside as well. So it's time to open up that mind. It's time to open up that vision, that space within yourself, so that you can start creating bigger and better beliefs for yourself. And maybe you'll inspire those around you as well. Let's see. Oh my gosh, look at the beautiful artwork here. All right. Next, our ancient future. Oh, this is the artwork that's on the box. This is stunning. Let's go ahead and give you a second. All right. An ancient remembering is emerging. Seed crystals and the knowledge they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. Those who see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift the paradigm into balance. This card is imbued with activations, and you are being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will guide you. So, give me just a second. So, universe is trying to tell you that, again, going hand in hand with this, seeing the full spectrum, new knowledge is emerging. New ancient knowledge is emerging. A lot of transitions and transformations are happening on Earth right now, and with human beings as a collective. We're going through the Great Awakening right now. This is a beautiful time for expansion and transformation. And universe wants you to remember this and take full advantage. As much as transformation can be very hard sometimes, that is what makes room for true growth and true potential. So remember this, and this will help you to grow. It will help you to heal, and it'll help you to start navigating situations, whether you have experience with them or not, because the more that you do this, the more you get in touch with your intuition, you get in touch with the gut area, and you'll be more able and available to receive the vibes that you need in order to go through these experiences that you need to go through in this lifetime. All right? So remember what time period we are in, when the period that we decided to incarnate in, and take full advantage of that. Take full advantage of the transformations that you're going through as a human being. This is a big deal. And universe wants you to remember that, and to, make sure that you take full advantage of the energies and bringing forth these gifts and your intuition and everything that comes with that. And that'll also help you to, instead of see through a very narrow way of thinking, to be able to expand that and to fully embody what that is for you. All right? And finally, crown chakra, the unlimited self. So there's the front. And here's the back. The crown chakra is your link to the multidimensionality of your being, the seat of your soul. It gracefully connects you to the heavens. The infinity symbol of limitlessness, appears within the unfolding petals and points to your most potent potential. Here, you can delight in the divine strands of the light that dance with us when we are aligned with spirit, purpose, and truth. Be present and flow without rigid outcomes. Find more spaces in your life. Find your own way to meditate. Explore the state of flow and be receptive to the intuitive messages you may receive. So, a lot of us, when we're going through this spiritual awakening, or we're going through a spiritual transformation, we think that the third eye is the only thing that has anything to do with expanding that part of ourselves, and that is not true. The crown chakra, all the chakras are extremely important to our well-being and the way that we move through our spiritual journey. But the crown chakra is where all of that information is flowing through. That's where you get the information first. And that's where it flows through the rest of your chakras. Oops. Woo! That's where it flows through the rest of your chakras and the rest of your body. It comes through the crown, it comes through the head, it comes from the sky. So those things go hand in hand. So remember to do work with your crown chakra. Don't forget about your crown chakra, because that is very important when it comes to expanding yourself and your talents and your spiritual gifts. And of course, it all goes hand in hand. As the card's been saying, remember that, and remember that that is what helps us to be fully aligned with spirit, with our purpose, with our truth. Find your ways to meditate and to include that in your meditation. When I do meditations and I want to expand a specific chakra, what I do is I think about the color that's associated with the chakra, or an object that has that color, or an orb of light that has to do with that color, and I focus my spiritual energy on that specific chakra, on that specific part of my body. So if I'm doing a third eye meditation, I'm going to picture the energy and the color being radiated in between the brows, where that third eye would sit. Or, if it's my crown chakra, I'm going to picture that white light above my head and feel that energy go to the tippy top of my head, because that's where that sits. So whatever that entails for you, whatever practice that's going to entail for you, make sure that you start to integrate that in your meditations, because that's going to be helpful. That's going to be helpful with you receiving your intuitive messages, again, getting in touch with that intuition, and it's all going to go hand in hand. So I'm seeing a lot of transformative healing energy here. So this fly has been getting on my nerves this whole time. So this period for you right now, Cancer, is about a lot of deep transformation and deep spiritual progression and growth. Okay, so just the same way that we do with our physical being and our mental being, don't forget to do that with your spiritual being as well, because that is just as important as everything else. All right, the second deck that we are going to use is Wisdom of the House of Night. The deck is a lot darker, not in terms of energy. We all do light energy here with the artwork, the color of the cards, and it gives off a little bit of a witchy vibe, and I really like that, especially because we're in spooky season. And if you notice, I have my beautiful little Scully here. I don't remember if it's bloodstone or dragon's blood. I don't even know if that is a stone, and I'm a little bit ashamed because I collect a lot of crystals. So if you know the name of this stone, please comment below, because that would be very helpful. And let's go ahead and get into this. So Spirit, let's go ahead and get some cards from this deck for our mid-month check-in for Cancer. What do you have for Cancer? Let's go ahead and get some cards for Cancer, preferably one at a time. Because if you all notice, with some of these readings, the cards will fly out bunches at a time, and I'm like, whoa, wait, too many. Too many. All right. Let's go ahead and get some cards for Cancer for our mid-month check-in. What do you have for Cancer this month? There's energy here, but it's like being stifled. I don't know why. All right, let's do one more shuffle, and if nothing pops out, then I'll go ahead and pick some from the deck myself, all right? Typically, I don't like doing that, but I also don't want to make you guys wait a super lengthy amount of time for things to start coming out. All right, I'll do one more. Come on, give me some stuff for the Cancers. All right, bottom of the deck, self-worth. Ooh, that's a deep one. All right. Understanding. All right, let's see what that one's all about. 43. This is the symbol for deep and true comprehension. It is one thing to read something or hear something, but it is another thing to truly understand something. You are being asked to keep an open mind and heart to allow yourself to absorb information as you receive it. Be open to the wisdom that can come only with time, patience, and perspective. Try to get out of yourself and imagine what it is like to walk in someone else's shoes. To understand is to have power. Wow. So again, going back to full spectrum, seeing things for what they really are, seeing the full picture, and not creating stories around a limiting belief. The universe is calling you to be understanding of someone or a situation that's going on in your life right now. For a majority of you, I feel like it is a certain someone that you and this person have been having some conflicts due to a lack of understanding of each other. So instead of talking over one another, do your best to sit down and to listen to this person. When you do that, that also makes them want to listen to you, because they're seeing you in a different light. They're seeing, wow, they're really trying to hear me and to understand me. So I should probably do that for them. And not everybody is going to be like that, but with most genuinely good people, that is definitely a thing. So keep an open mind, an open heart. Again, make sure that you start seeing not just black and white, but you start seeing the full color spectrum, and you start opening that up for yourself, because that will cause you to want to be more understanding of another person as well, and this person that you're dealing with. Universe, again, like the card is saying, is also reminding you to take a step back from yourself and from within yourself, and imagine what it's like to be going through what they're going through, to be in their shoes for a change. And that will also allow you to open up to understanding this person, because we forget that the same way that you're going through struggles that people know nothing about, other people around you are going through that same thing. And it's very hard to want to understand when they lash out at you, or when something happens that is viewed in a negative light. But again, when they cool down and the situation kind of dissipates, and you have that chance to sit down and say, hey, listen, I'm here for you. I want to know what it is you're going through, or why you're reacting this way, and what I can do to help, or what I can do to understand you better, or to learn from you, or whatever that goal is going to be between the two of you. But that needs to be done, and that needs to happen, so that not only can you feel more comfortable in that relationship, but you can feel more comfortable in yourself, that you're doing your best to be the best human being that you can possibly be right now. And you're doing your best to not only understand that person, but that will also expand that understanding, or that wanting to understand others and other situations and the like. All right? So let's remember that moving forward, Cancer. That's very deep. This whole thing, again, is very deep. It's very much about a spiritual transformation, and looking in on yourself and dealing with your shadow self. This is a lot. But you'll get through it. Trust me, you will. It might be difficult sometimes, but it will happen, I promise you. And finally, we have seen this deck before. We're going to go ahead and get some messages from Spirit. So, all right, Spirit, let's go ahead and get some advice for the Cancers before we part. What else do you have for Cancer for our mid-month check-in? Oh, that would be way too many. Let's go ahead and push that back. Anything else for my Cancers? Any other advice that you'd like to give? All right. Bottom of the deck, the circumstance you find yourself in is not worthy of the time spent worrying about it. Release it. have a feeling it has to do with that person. And again, that's not going to be for all of you, so take it how it resonates, but I know for a good chunk of you, that is going to resonate. Okay. External forces are influencing you. Pay attention to what fulfills you. Happiness doesn't require permission. Very self-explanatory. Remember, in order to live the most authentic life in this lifetime, do things that make you happy within, you know, certain boundaries, and, you know, don't do anything that's going to harm you or anything like that. But you don't need permission to be happy. Okay? Whatever that means for you, take that how it resonates. But, you know, for some of you, it might be doing what you want no matter what a person says or thinks, or it might be just keeping that information to yourself and not letting another person in on the things that you're doing, so that you don't feel judgment, so that you feel like you can be the most authentic version of you that you can possibly be. All right? So remember this and do what makes you happy without needing the permission of someone else. I'm getting out of that phase myself, as a matter of fact. So, and it is tough, but you can do it. So pay attention. Pay attention to who and what is influencing you. Pull away from that, and remember, you do not need permission to do what makes you happy. Life is too short to be focused on that. And that might be what the bottom of the deck card was referring to as well. That circumstance is not healthy, it's not, you know, it's not serving you, and you don't need to be focused on that. All right? If a relationship doesn't if a relationship doesn't last, it may be the universe is telling you it wasn't supposed to. So for some of you, it might be with this person that you're dealing with, but for some of you, it might be somebody else. Again, take that how it resonates. But things do not happen to us, they happen for us. So something that might not have worked out for you in a relationship, whether that, it doesn't have to be a romantic one, it could be a platonic one as well, but something that might not have worked out for you in a relationship is actually working out for you and your highest good for your present and for your future. Remember that, okay? Nothing happens to us, everything happens for us. So if a relationship did not last, maybe it wasn't supposed to, and maybe it was the universe pushing you away from something that was holding you back and that was keeping you stagnant. Okay? So regardless of if it's with that specific person that we're talking about, or if it's with somebody else that's completely different, take it how it resonates. But remember that, because that's very important. Okay? Because just the same way that our mental can hold us back from things, people and circumstances, but, you know, people specifically can hold us back from those things too. So evaluate your relationships and figure out which ones are for your highest good and which ones kind of need to, you know, be brushed off. Otherwise, the universe will do it for you. Trust me. And finally, wow. Refrain from judgments. We are all unique and experiencing life in our own way. Allow others their journey. Absolutely amazing, because, again, everything's been going, it's like, it's coming back around full circle. Everything has been tied to understanding and refraining from judgments and fully embracing people and who they are and you know what they want from this life. So again, I feel that the full spectrum of this reading for you, Cancer, is a lot of deep spiritual growth and excuse me, and being compassionate and understanding towards others. Because for some of you, I feel like a lot of you have been holding that part of yourself back or closing that part of yourself off because you've been hurt or you've been going through a lot of tough times, and now you need to keep that for yourself. And, you know, I don't want to understand because nobody wants to understand me and whatever. But once again, that's the energy that is going to keep people at arm's length. That is the energy that's going to keep people from wanting to do the same for you. When you decide to open up that heart chakra and to start expanding your horizons with that way of seeing and with that way of thinking, and when you start to understand others, they are going to want to give you that same energy. Don't fall into this low vibrational energy of, oh, I'm going to keep this to myself because I'm in survival mode. I'm protecting myself. And life is full of ups and downs. Life is full of pain. Life is full of hurt. But the beautiful thing is that we overcome. We get over that. And we bloom and blossom and start anew. Life is full of endings and beginnings. Don't close yourself off just because you are afraid of that. Open up. Allow yourself to do these things. And I guarantee that people will start to do that same thing for you. Whoever that partner is, or whoever that person is that you guys are going through that conflict right now, I promise you that that's going to start allowing them to open up to you too. When they see that you're trying to do that spiritual work and that you are changing, and you're changing the way that you look at things and the way that you're thinking about certain things and the way that you're trying to understand them and other people, they're going to want to do the same thing for you and for others. And the relationship will get better. All right, Cancer, that is what I have for you for our mid-month check-in, and I will see you all again at the beginning of November, okay? Bye-bye.